Jake, a lot of talk will be about Wofford's offense this week. What have you seen from them defensively?
Yeah, they kind of play complementary to their offense. So, they really try to, limit big plays. They try to, keep everything in front, try to get the ball back to their offense, and let their offense, chew clock and make it really hard to, get a lot of possessions, for the opposing team. So we got to be efficient on offense and take advantage of the drives that we have, knowing that we're going to have limited reps during the game because of what they do offensively. So, like I said, just got to execute and take advantage of when we have the ball.
In that scenario, is there a danger that you press and feel like every possession has to be perfect, or is that something you have to guard against?
For sure. For sure. We just got to be methodical and, just take what they give us and move the ball down the field. And, throughout practice, you just stress, we got to be, execute at a high level, but, you want to do that every game. But in this game in particular, you really want to, take advantage, like I said, take advantage of when you have the ball and know that you're going to have to move the ball and score points when you have it.
Jake, when the team isn't playing well, there's a lot of negative chatter out there on social media, and then when things are going well, I guess you can say there's a lot of positive chatter about how good you are, speculating what bowl you're going to go to. Is it necessary to shut out the positive chatter as well, shut out all distractions?
Yeah, I think so. I definitely think so. It's because if you allow, if you start reading all the good stuff, it's just natural to just read. If you read everything, you're going to read the good and the bad. So, and if you read the bad, you're going to start, those thoughts are going to creep into your mind. And, whether you think you're going to believe it or not, it kind of starts to eat at you. So, just trying to stay off any social media. I think the guys have done a real good job of that, of really just staying focused and not listening to anything. But for sure, I think it's important to, don't read the good or the bad. Just focus on what we have to do as a team.
Jake, kind of just going off from that, how do you guys stay focused this week, knowing that next week's obviously Clemson? It's kind of been the buzz right now since the game was announced yesterday with the primetime game and this and that. I'm sure people are talking about it on campus. How do you guys ignore that, though, and stay focused this week?
Yeah, that's one of the first things Coach Muschamp said to us in our meeting today, that he didn't want to hear a word about next week or anything that's involved with next week. We're focused on Wofford and what we have to do this weekend, and I think the leaders on our team control that. I think the older guys in the locker room know they were here when they played the Citadel. And so, they know what it takes to win a game like this and to stay focused and, treat this game no different than any other week of the season. And so I think the guys have done a great job so far. I think the older guys are going to continue to do that and keep the right mindset going into this game.
Jake, talk about the development of the run game. You guys have been improving week to week. Is this a situation where you maybe want to try to beat Wofford at their own game as far as sustaining long drives and eating the clock?
I think during earlier in the season we kind of just broke down our run game and kind of focused on 2 or 3 runs that we're going to do, and we started to just run them really well. And, we're starting to do that, getting to them different ways, emotions, and different shifts. But as far as the game plan this week, I think we're just going to continue to do what we do. I don't think it's necessarily, we want to run the ball or want to throw it. But I do think we need to score and, put the pressure on them to throw the ball during the game.
Jake, a couple of questions. One, looking back at last week, the 3 picks, did you see something fundamental that you have to correct this week? And also, as a quarterback, what's your mindset after you have not a great game going into the next one?
Nothing, fundamentally. The first one just really being smart with the ball. The first one just a bad play on my part. The second one, I guess you could say it's fundamentals. I should have held the safety in the middle of the field, and I just kind of stared at Hayden the whole time, thought it was wide open. I just put it out there to him. I should have, held my eyes to the middle. But, you just got to move on from it. Coach Roper, that's one of the things he said after the game. He said it's a lot easier to learn from mistakes when you win. He said we're going to get better at it. He said it's not all on you, it's on me too. So he knows we're in this together. And, he did a great job of going through it in the meeting room and just going through the thought process of every play. And one thing he really told me this week, something that Coach Cutcliffe taught him at Duke was, you sign the check on every throw. He said, so before it leaves your hand, you're not just going to give away free money. And he said, so sign the check on every throw. Make sure it's something that you want to put out there. So I think that really stuck with me this week, and that's our big focus this week is taking care of the ball, especially going against a team like Wofford. If they get the ball back, they can take away a lot of time.
How do you guys balance the utilization of Hayden Hurst, knowing that he's a value as a run blocker and pass protector, but you also want to get him out there in the pass routes?
Yeah, he's one of the best playmakers on our team, but also, like you said, is a great great run blocker. Does a lot of good things for us in pass protection as well. So just trying to strike a balance between that. And I think as the season's going on, we found ways to get him the ball. Just trying to move him around, trying to give him in different spots, trying to get him in the best matchups possible against the defense, and allowing him to get space and get him the ball. So I think Coach Roper has done a great job of mixing it up and finding ways to get him the ball.
What's your relationship with Coach Roper like, and how has it developed as you've gotten to be more of a veteran and more experienced?
As far as like a quarterback and like coach, like off the field or anything, on the field, he's hard on us. I mean, he wants the best. He wants us to be the best. I mean, he demands that we have a plan every time we go on the field, and he expects us to do our film work. He expects us to be prepared week in and week out, and but off the field, he's a guy that really cares about us. Really. And that's all our coaches, though. That kind of stems from Coach Muschamp, really caring about us and caring about what goes on in our life. And it's not just about football, and he understands that. He's always bringing his kids up here and just kind of creating just a family aspect in our quarterback room and with our offense. And, this offseason during fall camp, he really, he started this thing with our offense of each guy kind of telling their story. Like a hardship and their heroes, and I thought that was real big for our offense to go closer as a unit, and that's something that he came up with during fall camp. So a coach gave his story, then two players gave their story, and I think it just showed that it's more about football here. It's about growing closer as a team and as a family, and I think it's went a long way for us this season offensively. Facing adversity together and really getting through it.
Jake, how long did it take you after you got on campus to find out what you had in Hayden as a tight end, as a receiver, as a teammate? The first few weeks I'm here, every time I came up here, he was working out or watching film or doing something that revolved around football. So I knew he was a special guy as far as his work ethic, and then just seeing him on the field, I was like, oh, man, this guy's a special guy. So, like I said, And then to see what he's done as far as being an unselfish teammate too, just week in and week out, he just shows every week that how unselfish of a teammate he is. So just having a guy like him on your team, it's one of the most valuable guys that we have.
I told you before the season you'd lead the team in rushing touchdowns in November. What would you have said?
I don't know. I probably would have said you're crazy or it wouldn't be a good sign if I was doing it. But it's just the way it happened this year. I mean, AJ kind of gets it down there, and I kind of put it in. So I don't know. He don't care. He likes to run the ball whenever he gets it. So, but it's just the way it's happened this year, and finding ways to get in the end zone.
How much of that is you being, I guess, more aware of what's going on and knowing when to pull it, as opposed to just being a great runner, good athlete and all that?
I think it's a little bit of realizing through film that there's opportunities there, and then Coach Roper getting great play calls out there, getting Hayden out in front of me, and being a blocker for me. So it's a little bit of both, just recognizing when the opportunities are. available for me to run it, and then the play calling. So 2 of them were reads, but we saw through film that if we line up a certain way and run the play, that it's most likely going to be a keep. So I knew if Hayden was in front of me, he would block somebody, so we'd get positive yards if nothing else. So I was keeping it the whole way.
How much does this offense let you, and I guess almost ask you to, when you see your receivers locked up in single coverage, let you kind of throw it up and say a guy like a Shai or an Artre or a Brian, just go make a play in single coverage?
Yeah, that's what we talk about every week, getting our guys in one-on-one matchups. And, we think that we can win those. Week in and week out, that's what our receivers have to do. That's what our running backs have to do. There's going to be a guy unblocked. Linemen, obviously, every single play they're in one-on-one matchup. So that's what our philosophy is, to get our guys in one-on-one matchups. And we got to, Coach Wolf always says, win your sandbox. So, win the one-on-one matchups, and that's what we got to do.